it's worth experimenting with because they said that it's not AI that will take people's jobs, but people who know how to use AI. Although I'm not deeply passionate about it, but I do think it. I think they're right. They are correct. People know to use the AI. Triangle game and log off. I should adjusting the camera in this game. Addictive game. So how many apps have you tried? I've built multiple, but none I think is that what people want, because I think you have to build something people want, and I think it's luck to stumble into something that people want. The Ben Relegator. Maybe I'll try Sizzle. I'll do Meganium. Meganium. How many apps? What tool are you using to build the AI stuff though? Like Claude? I think the best one they're saying is I must have spent at least $80 on Cursor, which I told you about. That company has been bought by SpaceX now, so it might actually improve. There's a few. So there's Claude Code. I've tried both of them and they both work. I think you just need. I think the people who already code, that already understand computer science, are really nerding out about it. They're really excited. I'm not as excited. I did dabble onto it a couple of times because I knew there was an opportunity in it. Clearly, there's money to be made in it. I'm just not fascinated by it. But people who could code and have done coding in the past, they're really excited about it. Like let me read this Smuler. Maybe I'll dabble into it more. I don't know if doing it with other people, but I do think I feel like it's stumbling into something that people want. Also at the same time, even if you use AI to code, it's better if you are engineer yourself so you can fix the problems. double checking the coding. Yeah, I feel like you have to know how to code if you're to do that well. Game, it's called Pokemon Unite. It's addictive, so I think on Saturday I played it for like over 7 hours, so... But it's obviously more productive if you're like learning how to code. It's not extremely boring. I can do it for an hour. I'm just not very consistent at doing it. I think some people are naturally more curious about that kind of stuff. It's experimenting with like building apps, but I think the tools will get improved. Right now, there's still a lot of bugs. Yeah. Yeah. Damn it, man. Wasn't doing business course. What business course? I think too, if you just want to learn how to do business, either you work under someone who has a business, which I think is probably better. If you can find someone that you can work under a business, like a shop, some sort of shop. Then a course. I don't think a course would be that useful. Like, working under someone who has a business that's working. Or I guess trying to sell something. As a girl that comes to my life, I've taken a look at a coffee shop. I've only been once, but it gave me the feeling this is a stable business. So I feel like even if you're working at some kind of coffee shop and learning how the business runs, not necessarily being a barista forever, but with the intent to own like that business, it's probably learning something. I don't think a course would be very helpful. That's my opinion. Or trying to sell something. Trying to sell anything. Learning how to sell something, I think, is valuable. A product. So I sell cards, but observing how people buy stuff, I think it's part of business. Like why do they want it? What stuff do people want? Because I think courses are I feel like people making courses, whether it's like an online guru or like even if it's like a school or training program, those I don't think. You know, I'm kind of skeptical. I feel like those people are also people who make money selling the courses. That's how they make money, not creating businesses. So I think trying to sell something or working under someone who's got a business is probably the best ways to learn. I think you'll probably learn more working under someone who has a working business, which is something I should do. The problem is finding that person. This game is kind of addictive. Every time I lose, it makes me want to play more, which is, I think, what is addictive about it. Like, so when I lose, I was like, fuck! I gotta get them back. It's like being hit in a game makes me want to hit them back. And I played it for like over 7 hours on fucking Saturday. I think I'm like that in real life. When I get hit, it does not make me want to be calm. It's like a bug, man. Relocator. defender needed. Oh my god, I've got 2 speedsters. 2 speedsters, man. Are they actually gonna be good? 2 speedsters. Are they actually gonna be good with 2 speedsters? This camera is like sideways.
图好多了，
有
好很多
啊
每天都要涂。那个女的说不养，哎呀，好多了，看过去好多了。你涂完了，我要去订，
啊，
要到那个花门喜叫他订。你涂完了没有？
还没读完。
对，这个药膏涂很好，都看过去跟正常皮肤一样，每天都要涂。我这样看过去皮肤好像很正常哦，好多了哈。
嗯，
今天这西瓜好像挺好吃的。
对，挺甜的。
嗯。但是呢，奥迪态度很好，他会写如果不新鲜可以拿来退。是的，现在看过去跟正常皮肤一样。
还是啊，我还在抠，我看我视频经常会抠。
哦，但是好多了哈，我买的好啊。
嗯，
而且又很脆啊。 叫公公，下面要开起来，有没有听清？下面可能又有东西，不要晒干，天气这么热。去晒。衣服里面怎么很多头发？
Opponent surrendered. Your team wins.
一般换一个东西，换一个。草莓要吃吗？
不要。
真的。
Instant death.
明天后天更冷。我再给你吃一个，好不好？
不要，我不吃。
我都嘴巴吃那个肯德基，嘴都渴死了，太咸了。这是叫什么东西了？
冰激凌啊，
不是，
叫什么？
这是叫这是冰激凌，
这叫 fillet。
对了，对啊。
tree structure of folders and files, and then helping them land at the right information. There's a bunch of different search ways or ways to architect search to go about this, but this is how we've done it. And you can see here in Spotify, you can see correspondence, and you can see things like meetings. And you can see this one meeting, intro call to Maya. Again, this is stuff that we put here to make sure that the proposal can pull from something. So this is the first ever conversation between me and Maya that happened months and months ago. I learned a little bit about her that call. She's a vinyl person. But here you can see she said the thing about record stores, the person behind the counter hands you something and says, trust me, that's discovery, that's the feeling. So this is a cool line that she said to me in a meeting that I probably would never really remember when I'm crafting the proposal later on and coordinating with the team. What's good about this omniscient AI who sees everything, has the perfect context, is it whips up this proposal and bakes in those little moments of connection that I would love to do given more time. We would love to do. I do want to give this level of personalization, and then you can see it here in these moments. So there's a few of those peppered throughout this proposal, I would hope, because that's what it should do. It's a direct ask in one of our skills to make sure that it pulls from the transcripts and layers in personalization. You can see here, and good luck in November, save something for mile 8. This is because we know, I think there's something in here. So I run training NYC Marathon in November, you know, again, like, and then I think somewhere else she mentions mile 8 and how that's like the toughest mile. So again, you're baking this stuff in on top of a great proposal, on top of doing it in literally under 5 minutes from the moment it was requested. So that's kind of the magic here that we can start to see when you get to this level of AI native operating. And I think something that's cool is, again, normally I just fire this in Claude, but it's magic for me when I don't even know a proposal was asked for because I'm on the road, I'm in meetings, I'm doing something else. An email comes into my inbox and someone says, "Kay, we'd love to learn a little bit more. I'd love to see a proposal or show me what this might look like." The brain will understand that, which I'll explain right now, pull in that trigger and fire this all without me ever having to lift a finger or even know that I needed to do this. So it's crazy to get that Slack ping and then be like, oh, proposal's ready. What are they talking about? I already have a proposal. And then I go back and see what the reference or the breadcrumbs were. And I'm like, oh, amazing. I have it. Review, send it off. And they're amazed because they're like, how'd you get this to me? I just asked for it. And, again, you got to balance that. But I think it's really cool. What I'm going to do is start another one quickly as I talk into context because I don't want to miss out on this. And this one I'm going to speak to a little bit and I hope it works. But this is going to be, I showed you that Spotify prototype. You saw that proposal, they want to increase retention. So I know people use Whisper Flow, people use a bunch of other things. I'm a Luddite when it comes to this. I just like using the native mic feature. And to me, I find it works fine. So let's do that. I want to create a feature for Spotify. I want it to help increase retention. I think it should be a daily mini playlist or a daily blitz of 3 songs. I should be able to access it from the homepage. And when I get in, there are 3 handpicked songs for me. I know why they were picked. I'm able to save that playlist, share it with a friend, or play the music. And the goal of this is to build this in under 10 minutes, use all the context you have, make sure it's beautiful and matches the design system, and make sure that I can test retention. Okay, so I have this. I'm just going to go /goal here because, like I said, running this command helps make sure this goal. And I'm going to run the other skill chain that I was talking about. So we have this skill chain. So I'm going to run this. Again, I'm running it on medium effort and I'm running it on auto. I would never normally do this. I would have it on high effort or ultra high. I might even, and not for this episode, but I might even have the workflow feature in now where I have sub agents going and really trying to optimize this design by going and vetting other things. And we're not going to talk about that now, I don't think.
Hi, I'm John, and I'm a partner at YC. I often meet founders who have lots of ideas about what to work on and can't decide between them. Sometimes they're working on multiple things. Often they'll say that they're waiting to find the best idea before fully committing. But it's extremely hard to make meaningful progress on a startup without committing to a single idea. So in this video, I'm going to give you a rubric for how to stop overthinking, pick an idea, commit to it, and then figure out fast whether it's actually working. The most important piece of advice I'd give to founders struggling to pick a startup idea is don't overthink it. Overthinking a startup in the earliest days can take many forms, but here are a couple of the most common failure modes I see. The first is thinking that you need to find the perfect idea. In some ways, this is an understandable impulse. Startups are hard, so shouldn't you figure out the best idea before committing? The problem with this approach is that it's impossible to figure out the perfect idea in the abstract. You can only figure out what you should be working on by making contact with reality and getting feedback from customers. The second overthink is, am I the perfect founder for this? It's true that founder market fit matters. A non-technical founder likely won't be the right person to come up with a killer DevTools startup idea, for example. But often founders, especially second-time founders, weaponize this line against themselves. They convince themselves that they need a decade of domain experience before they can start. The truth is, you don't. If you pick an idea you're curious about, go extremely deep, and most importantly, talk to customers, it's often possible to develop extraordinary knowledge in a short amount of time. We see incredible examples of this all the time at YC. Take Blake Scholl, the CEO of Boom Supersonic. Blake spent his early career working on ad tech at companies like Amazon and Groupon before deciding to work on commercializing supersonic flight. Lots of people probably thought he was crazy. But now Boom is a billion-dollar company. So don't let the question of whether you're allowed to work on something stop you from starting. Once you've stopped overthinking your ideas, it's important to commit to just one. Often, I meet founders who are working on multiple ideas at once because they believe that this is the best way to figure out which one will actually work. There are a couple problems with this approach. The most serious is that it tends to produce bad data. If you don't actually go deep on an idea, but instead juggle it with several others, you won't get good signal about whether what you're doing actually works. And if you don't get good signal, then you could either prematurely talk yourself out of a good idea or convince yourself that a bad one is worth continuing. The solution to this is to go in depth first. If you're trying to decide between several ideas, all of which look equally attractive, pick one idea and go deep on it. What do I mean by going deep? The first thing is that you should burn the other boats. That is, you should explicitly foreclose your other startup idea options. Stop working on them. Tell any customers that you've pivoted and work with single-minded focus on the idea you've chosen. One way to think about going deep is that it should feel like wearing a new skin. You should become an almost unrecognizable version of yourself. This could mean changing your company's name, your emails, your website, and even your internal narrative about why you're building a startup in the first place. For example, I worked with a startup called GovDash that helps customers win government contracts. They pivoted at least 5 times before finding this idea. And each time they explored something new, they changed their company name and how they talked about their mission. At one point, I forgot how to get in touch with them because they changed their email addresses with each pivot. By truly becoming domain experts in government procurement, their 5th idea worked so well that they could barely keep up with demand. They recently raised the Series B to scale the business and meet that demand. Once you've decided to fully commit to an idea and go deep, how do you know if you're actually doing it well? The high watermark I use to help founders answer this question is, could you actually run your customer's business? Say you want to build voice customer service agents for cleaning services. The question isn't just whether you've talked to 20 owners. The question is, if I dropped you into a cleaning business tomorrow, would you know how to run it? Do you know what their daily crises are? Do you know whether answering the phone is a top 5 problem? Do you know how much business they lose when a call goes unanswered? And what they would actually pay to never lose another one? These are the kinds of questions you need to be able to answer with very high confidence. Another way to think about this is, could you teach a class on the problem you're solving? Are you one of the most informed people in the world on the subject? Getting to this level will involve lots of conversations with customers, and sometimes even literally doing the job yourself. But don't obsess over needing to talk to hundreds of customers before writing code. The goal is to do both at the same time in a tight loop. Deep understanding of customer needs, then product delivery, then deeper understanding of customer needs, then better product delivery. Real customers using your product produces concrete data that will complement your abstract knowledge, giving you a sense of whether what you're building is actually working. Once you're going deep on an idea, there are several ways to validate whether it's worth continuing to work on. The most obvious one is pull from customers, but there are several other qualities of good ideas in the AI era that you should look out for as you go. The first is that the idea sits at the edge of what models can do today. This might mean that your product barely works on today's frontier models, but will clearly improve as they get better. You should understand the bottlenecks impeding your product's performance intimately. If a particular bottleneck doesn't clear the way you hoped, solving that might become the company. This is a version of Paul Graham's well-known quote that you should live in the future and then build what's missing. The second quality of a good idea is that it should verticalize. By this I mean that it should ultimately sell an outcome. For example, providing insurance or medical care rather than just software. In the AI era, the cost of producing software is going to zero. So the things that actually become valuable aren't just software for X. They're customer trust, licenses, regulatory permission, and outcome ownership. So if you want to get into the insurance space, don't build software for insurance companies. Just be the insurer. Similarly, rather than selling back office software for banks, just be the bank. One example of this is Corgi Insurance, an AI-powered commercial insurance company from YC's Summer 24 batch. They were not content with being a tech-enabled broker or even a managing general agent, because that was just owning a part of the solution. Instead, they set an ambitious goal of owning everything from underwriting to providing customer service, the entire commercial insurance stack, and even took the unprecedented step of acquiring an insurance carrier during their YC batch to make it happen. Being the full stack insurance company allows Corgi to underwrite any insurance line in any vertical with a fraction of the headcount of traditional carriers. They can offer far better pricing, much faster turnaround, and own all of the economics. That brings me to the third quality of a good idea. It should be the most ambitious version of itself. It may seem unintuitive, but the cost of pursuing a wildly ambitious startup idea and the cost of pursuing a modest one are roughly the same. They're both extremely hard. They both place extreme demands on your time. So aim at the version that, if it works, rewrites a sector of the economy. Because that's also the version that protects you from competitors, attracts the best talent, and has a moat worth building. This could mean building and selling into the most regulated industries, like legal, healthcare, or financial services, or taking on very large incumbents, like a $10 billion legacy SaaS company, or building hard tech, like robotics for space assembly. Now, what if you do all of this and the idea fails? The good news is that you'll be in a dramatically better position than where you started. First, you have unambiguous customer data. You know whether there's actually a hair on fire problem in this space, or whether you just talked yourself into thinking there was. You'll have real conviction to base a pivot on, and a better sense of how to execute going forward. But more importantly, you will often come away from the process with a new idea that will actually work. When most founders begin, they're solving surface level pain points. The real opportunities are almost always the deeper structural problems. In other words, going deep isn't primarily a process for validating the idea you started with. It's a way to find the better idea underneath. This almost always happens, especially if you're at the forefront of what models can do today. You'll notice the bottlenecks, the gaps, the dev tools nobody's built, and one of those could turn out to be the actual company. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. First, stop trying to find the perfect idea. Just pick one. Then, burn the other boats. Learn everything you can about the customer and try to execute for them. In the early idea fog, where you can only see 10 feet in front of you, the temptation is to take a few cautious steps in every direction. Sample a little here, a little there. Stay close to home. The problem is,